Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is 11th December 2024. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. First, let us find the stocks near demand and supply zones starting from half-yearly time frame. Stocks near half-yearly demand zone, no stocks are available. Next, half-yearly time frame, stocks near half-yearly supply zone, one stock is filtered. I'm giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. I request you pause the video, study the report, and then you can proceed further. In case if you don't know how to study the report, I request you complete our training lesson 21.1. In that video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, now the next time frame is quarterly. Stocks near quarterly demand zone, one stock is filtered. Next, quarterly time frame, stocks near quarterly supply zone, 5 stocks are filtered. Next time frame is monthly, near monthly demand zone, 5 stocks are filtered. Next, monthly time frame near monthly supply zone, 6 stocks are filtered. Next, monthly time frame, price closed inside monthly demand zone. These monthly demand zones should not be pierced. So pierced count monthly time frame, I am setting minimum value 0. Maximum value 0, that means pierced count is 0. That means zone is not pierced. Let's filter. 12 stocks are filtered where price closed inside these monthly demand zones. We can further filter these stocks based on monthly EMA Confluence. So in the EMA Confluence and monthly time frame, monthly demand zone having monthly EMA Confluence. And during EMA Confluence, trend should not be sideways. Monthly trend should not be sideways. So I'm selecting up or down. Let's filter. Now 7 stocks are filtered. In these 7 stocks, all these monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA Confluence. And also prices are closed inside the monthly demand zone. Okay, next. Monthly time frame, price closed inside monthly supply zone. These monthly supply zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at monthly time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means monthly supply zones are not pierced. 12 stocks are filtered. Out of these 12 monthly supply zones, we can further filter based on EMA Confluence. So in the EMA Confluence filter at monthly time frame, I am enabling the filter monthly supply zone having monthly EMA Confluence. And during EMA Confluence, the trend should not be sideways. Monthly trend should not be sideways. So I am selecting up or down. We got 2 stocks. These 2 stocks are having monthly supply zones with monthly EMA Confluence. And price currently closed in these monthly supply zones. Okay, next time frame is weekly. Price closed near weekly demand zone. 9 stocks are filtered. Next, weekly time frame, price closed near weekly supply zone, 10 stocks are filtered. Next, weekly time frame, price closed inside weekly demand zone. These weekly demand zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, weekly time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Let's filter. We got 11 stocks where price closed in the weekly demand zones. In these weekly demand zones, let us find further filter based on weekly EMA Confluence. In the EMA Confluence weekly time frame, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence, and the trend should not be sideways in weekly time frame. So I am selecting up or down trend. So 4 stocks are filtered. These 4 stocks are having demand zones, weekly demand zones having weekly EMA Confluence, and also price closed in the weekly demand zones. Okay, next weekly time frame, price closed inside weekly supply zone. These weekly supply zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, weekly time frame, minimum value I am setting 0, maximum value 0. With this filter we got a good number of stocks. These are the first 15 stocks in the list. Price closed inside weekly demand zone. I am scrolling the list down. So total 49 stocks are filtered where price closed inside the weekly supply zone. And we can further filter this list by checking these supply zones having weekly EMA Confluence. So let's go back, and the EMA Confluence weekly time frame, I am selecting weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence with this filter, but trend also should not be sideways on weekly time frame. So I am selecting up or down trend, because EMA Confluence makes sense only in the trending market but not sideways. So this is the filter. So these are the first 15 stocks. Now stocks are reduced. First 15 stocks. I am scrolling the list down. So total 19 stocks are filtered instead of 49 stocks. In these 19 stocks, prices are closed in the weekly supply zones. Those weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. Okay, this is about weekly time frame. Next time frame is a daily. Entry time frame daily. Let us find the stocks near daily demand zone. We got 6 stocks. Let's identify high liquidity zones, if any. JK Cement is having a high liquidity daily demand zone. Sona COMS is not valid, it is a pierced zone. So we have only one valid high liquidity daily supply zone, JK Cement. Okay, next daily time frame. Let us filter the stocks near to the daily supply zone. 7 stocks are filtered. Let us identify high liquidity daily supply zones from this list. Apollo Hospital is having a daily high liquidity supply zone. Jubilant Food is having high liquidity zone. Laurus Labs is having high liquidity supply zone. That's it. We have 3 high liquidity daily supply zones from this list. Okay, next daily time frame. Price closed inside the daily demand zone. These daily demand zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, daily time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With this filter, we got 11 stocks. Price closed in the daily demand zones. We can further filter these stocks based on EMA Confluence on the daily demand zones. Let's filter in the EMA Confluence. daily time frame, daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. With EMA confluence, trend should not be sideways. So on daily time frame, I am selecting up or down trend. We got 6 stocks. Currently price closed in these daily demand zones, and these daily demand zones are having daily EMA confluence. Okay, next daily time frame. Price closed inside daily supply zone, and these daily supply zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at daily time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means daily supply zones are not pierced, should not be pierced. So this is the filtered list. We got a big list, first 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. Total 42 stocks are filtered where price closed inside the daily supply zone. We can further filter this list based on the EMA confluence, daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. Let's add that filter in the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. This EMA confluence is valid only in the trending market, not sideways. So that's why in the zone violation, trend calculation based on zone violation at a daily time frame, I am selecting up or down trend, but not sideways. Let's filter. See now the list from 42 stocks, list is come down to 7 stocks. In these 7 stocks, current prices are closed in the daily supply zone, and those daily supply zones are having daily EMA confluence. And in the trending market, either uptrend or downtrend, but not sideways in daily time frame. So this is about daily time frame. Next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. 9 stocks are filtered. Next 125 minutes time frame, stocks near 125 minutes supply zone, 6 stocks are filtered. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes demand zone. We got 11 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity zones from this list. NHPC, this is the only high liquidity zone we got from 75 minutes time frame. Okay. Next 75 minutes time frame. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes supply zone. 5 stocks are filtered. Let us identify high liquidity supply zones from this list. The first one is a pierced zone, not a valid stock. Not a valid high liquidity zone. Next one is MGL is having high liquidity supply zone. That's it. We have only one valid high liquidity supply zone from this list, that is MGL. Okay. This is about high liquidity zones. Next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. We got 4 stocks. Next 25 minutes time frame. Stocks near 25 minutes supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone. We got 4 stocks. Let us verify how many of these stocks are having ITF demand zone confluence. that is 15 minutes with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. With this filter, out of 4 stocks, we got 2 stocks. But second one is invalid because it is a pierced zone. Okay, next 15 minutes time frame, stocks near 15 minute supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Out of these 5, how many are having ITF supply zone confluence? Let's verify. That is a 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. With this filter, out of 5 stocks, we got 2 stocks. In these 2, first one is invalid because it is a pierced zone. Okay, next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 9 stocks. Out of these 9, how many are having ITF demand zone confluence? Let's verify. 5 minutes demand zone confluence with 15 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling this filter. With this filter, out of 9 stocks, we got 4 stocks. Out of these 4, all no demand zones are pierced, so all are valid. Okay, next 5 minutes time frame, stocks near 5 minutes supply zone. We got 8 stocks. Out of these 8 supply zones, how many are having ITF confluence? That is a 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. So with this filter, out of 8 stocks, we got 4 stocks. Out of these 4, first one is invalid, pierced, and the fourth one is invalid. Only second and third are valid, the supply zones. Okay, this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. Also identify daily and 75 minutes high liquidity zones. So next set of reports are about NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. First, let's start with NIFTY from monthly time frame, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. This is a NIFTY monthly supply demand zone chain. Always look into the zone column to find high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones. Always look into LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. This is the way you should understand the remaining time frame reports. Okay, next, generating weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Maybe you can refer some more demand zones. I am scrolling the list down. Okay, this is about NIFTY supply demand zone chain. Next, let us generate for bank nifty, that is nothing but nifty bank, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for bank nifty. Next, weekly supply demand zone chain for bank nifty. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for bank nifty. Next, 125-minute supply demand zone chain for bank nifty. Next, 75-minute supply demand zone chain for bank nifty. Next, 25-minute supply demand zone chain for bank nifty. Next, 15-minute supply demand zone chain for bank nifty. Next, 5-minute supply demand zone chain for bank nifty. So we have completed bank nifty supply demand zone chain. So the next set of reports are about bullish and bearish trade setups. First, let us start with bullish trade setup for monthly income trade, entry time frame daily, entry zone demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at daily time frame, I am selecting bullish. This daily demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at a daily time frame, I am selecting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means zone is not pierced. And zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 12. To which zone all these three parameters should apply? Daily demand zone, they are applied. Let's filter the stocks. We got 19 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. I am scrolling the list down. So all these monthly income trade, entry time frame zone, LTF zones are daily demand zones. Out of these 19 daily demand zones, some high probability setup supported zones might be available. Let us filter them based on LTF and ITF demand zone confluence, later LTF, ITF and HTF zone confluence. First, I am going to filter based on LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is a daily and a weekly demand zone confluence. I am enabling this filter. With this filter, out of 13 stocks, we got 19 stocks, right? Out of 19, 14 stocks are filtered. In these 14 stocks, daily demand zones are part of the weekly demand zone. And the weekly trend is up in all the stocks. Weekly means ITF trend. Daily zone is part of weekly and the weekly trend is up. We can look for a weekly demand zone with weekly EMA confluence to further filter high probability setup stocks. So in the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence as per the concept you learned in lesson 27. Let's filter. We got 8 stocks. These 8 stocks are even more high probability setup supported stocks. Some of these stocks are having a high liquidity demand zones. Okay. Next, let us filter based on LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. I am removing this EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, we need to set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, daily with weekly. Next, daily demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. Weekly demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, the daily demand zone is part of the weekly demand zone. Both together again part of the monthly demand zone. Zone confluence. and monthly trend is up in both the stocks. If any of these two stocks are having monthly EMA Confluence, that is even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence at monthly time frame, monthly demand zone having monthly EMA Confluence. So this stock is having even more high probability trade setup, because in this stock daily zone is part of weekly, both together part of monthly, and that monthly zone is having monthly EMA Confluence, and also monthly trend is uptrend. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame daily, entry zone supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at daily time frame, I am selecting bearish, and this daily supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at a daily time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd and enhance score 12. All the three filters are applied to daily supply zone. 4 stocks are filtered. They are supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry zones are daily supply zones. Out of these 4 daily supply zones, there could be some high probability setup supported stocks might be available. First, let us filter based on LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is a daily and a weekly supply zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, out of 4 stocks, we got all 4 stocks. That means in all these 4 stocks, the daily supply zones are part of the weekly supply zone. If these weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence, weekly time frame, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence filter is enabled. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. These 2 are even more high probability trade setup supported supply zones, daily supply zones. So this is based on LTF and ITF supply zone confluence and also weekly EMA confluence. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. So I am removing this EMA filter. Without EMA filter, we have to look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. Already one filter is enabled. Second filter, daily supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. Third filter, weekly supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence, we got only one stock. If this stock is having monthly EMA confluence because the trend is downtrend, it could be even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence, monthly time frame, because the daily and weekly are part of the monthly zone. So monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence filter is enabled and the stock is filtered. That means this is even more high probability trade setup supported stock for monthly income trade, bearish trade setup. Next, let us look for weekly income trades. First, weekly income trade, bullish trade setup, entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, demand zones, bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes, I am selecting bullish, and 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0 in pierced count parameter. Next, zone achievement should be violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhance score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 75 minutes demand zone. And we got around 18 or 19 stocks. 18 stocks are filtered. The first 16 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So all these 18 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. And entry zones are 75 minutes demand zones. All these demand zones are 75 minutes demand zones. Out of these 18 75 minutes demand zones, there could be some high probability trade setup zones might be available. we have to filter them. The first filter is based on LTF and ITF demand zone confluence, that is 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. So I am enabling that filter. With this filter, out of 18 we got 16 stocks. In all these 16 stocks, the 75 minutes entry time frame demand zones are part of the daily demand zone. And the daily trend is up in all these stocks, that is ITF trend. So let us look for daily demand zone with daily EMA confluence, because 75 minutes demand zone is part of the daily demand zone. So in the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, because 75 minute zone demand zone is part of the daily demand zone. So I am enabling the filter daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter we got 11 stocks. So these 11 are high probability trade setup supported stocks. Again, within these, some of the zones are high liquidity zones, the 75 minutes demand zones. That means they are even more powerful. Okay, this is based on LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. I am removing this EMA filter. Now LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence, we need to set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, 75 with daily. Next 75 with weekly demand zone confluence. Next daily with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 6 stocks. In all these 6 stocks, these 75 minutes entry demand zones are part of the daily demand zone. Both together again part of the weekly demand zone. Weekly trend is up in all these stocks except the second one. If these up trend stocks are having weekly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. So with this filter, we got 5 stocks. Check the trend. Ignore the second one because it is sideways. So we need to look for first, second, third, first, third, fourth and fifth. So these 4 stocks, out of these 5, these 4 stocks having uptrend, HTF trend uptrend, are even more high probability trade setup supported stock. We can eliminate this sideways from our report by setting the trend on weekly time frame as uptrend. See, now we got only 4 stocks. All these 4 stocks are having uptrend. So this is the way our software helps to filter the stocks effectively. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame is 75 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. Bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes. I am selecting bearish. This 75 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the 75 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means 75 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 75 minute supply zone. Now let's filter the stocks. We got only 4 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. And all these entry zones are 75 minute supply zones. So we got 4 75 minute supply zones. Out of these 4, there could be some high probability setup supported stocks might be available. So first filter is based on LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. Let's filter. That is 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. A filter is enabled. With this, out of 4 stocks, we got all 4 stocks. So in all these 4 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are part of the daily supply zone. And the daily trend is down in all the 4 stocks. And 75 is part of the daily. And if the daily supply zone is having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, because 75 minutes supply zone is part of the daily supply zone. So I'm looking for daily supply zone having daily EMA Confluence. With this filter, out of 4 stocks, we got only 1 stock. But this is an indices. Okay, this is about LTF and ITF confluence with EMA confluence. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. I am removing this EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled, daily with weekly. Next, daily with monthly supply zone confluence. Weekly with something is missed up. 75 with weekly supply zone confluence. I am removing this. And daily with weekly supply zone confluence. 3 filters are enabled. 75 with daily supply zone confluence, 75 with weekly supply zone confluence, daily with weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence, we got 3 stocks out of 4. In these 3, second and third sideways, so no need to look for EMA confluence because in the sideways. First one is anyway indices. Okay, next let us look for daily income trades. Daily income trade bullish trade setup, entry time frame 15 minutes, entry zone demand zone, bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes. I am selecting bullish. This 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 15 minutes demand zone. Now let's filter the stocks. We got 17 stocks. These are the first 16 stocks. I am scrolling the list down. So total 17 stocks are filtered. All these 17 stocks are bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry zones are 15 minutes demand zones. Out of these 15 minutes demand zones, out of these 17 15 minutes demand zones, there could be some high probability 15 minutes demand zones are available. Let us filter them. First filter is based on LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 15 minutes with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. So with this filter, out of 17 stocks, we got 15 stocks. That means in all these 15, these these 15 minutes demand zones are part of the 75 minutes demand zone. That is what zone confluence. And 75 minutes trend is up in all these stocks. That is ITF trend. So if any of these 75 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, those stocks are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence, 75 minutes time frame, because 15 minutes demand zone is part of the 75 minutes demand zone. That's why we are setting the filter 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence. So with this filter, we got 2 stocks. So these 2 demand zones are even more high probability trade setup supported zones. Out of 15, we got only 2 stocks. Okay, this is about LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. I have to remove this EMA filter. I removed it. Now in the demand zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. That is 15 minutes with 75 minutes confluence. Next, 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. And 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence, we got 6 stocks. In these 6 stocks, the 75 minutes, the 15 minutes entry zone is part of the 75 minutes zone. Both together again part of the daily zone. All these are all 15 minutes demand zones. Now 15 minutes together with 75 are part of the daily zone, and daily trend for some of these stocks are uptrend. 3 stocks are having uptrend. Out of these 3, any of them are having daily EMA Confluence. They are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence, daily time frame, daily demand zone having daily EMA Confluence, and also in the trend at a daily time frame, we have to select uptrend, not sideways. So let's filter. We got 2 stocks. These 2 are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. And moreover, first one, HCL Tech, is having a 15 minutes high liquidity demand zone. Okay, next let us look for bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes, entry zone supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes, I am selecting bearish. This 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. And zone achievement, violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. All the 3 filters are applied to 15 minute supply zone. Now let's verify. We got 5 stocks. These 5 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade, and the entry zones are, entry time frame zones are 15 minute supply zones. All these 15 minute supply zones for these 5 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Out of these 5 15 minute supply zones, there could be some high probability supported zones might be available. We need to filter them. First filter is based on LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. So I am enabling this filter. So with this filter, out of those 6 stocks, we got 5 stocks. In all these 5 stocks, these 15 minutes supply zones are part of these 75 minutes supply zones. And the 75 minutes trend is down in all the 5 stocks. If these 75 minute supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence at 75 minutes time frame, 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA Confluence. With this filter, out of 5 stocks, we got 2 stocks. These 2 are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. And moreover, the first one is having high liquidity supply zone. Okay, this is based on LTF and ITF EMA Confluence. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. I am removing this EMA filter. Now in the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled, that is 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. Next filter is a 15 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence, 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence, we got 5 stocks. So in all these 5 stocks, the 15 minute supply zone is part of the 75 minute supply zone, both together again part of the daily supply zone. And the daily trend is down in first 3 stocks. If they are having a daily EMA Confluence, those supply zones, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. So in the EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, daily supply zone having daily EMA Confluence filter is enabled, and also the trend and daily time frame should be downtrend, not sideways. So with this filter, we did not get any stocks. So we don't have any daily EMA Confluence related stocks. Okay, fine. So this is about bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And in the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. I am scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there you please pause the video. After that you can continue further. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.